reason why I chose to do this live is, I've just felt that for quite a while, really since January, I felt like soulmates were going to find each other this year. And we're a little over years. And so I just did a reading where I literally asked Divine 5 major questions and got amazing answers back. So definitely check that out. Actually, I put the trailer to it before this video. So some of you, it's just a short actually. Um, so I thought, you know what, let's do one for all signs. Well, that was for all signs also. But just the person on your mind, what's going on in their mind. We're going to ask their feelings for you currently, your current view of them right now. What actions are they currently thinking of taking, or you? It could go either way. Your current feelings towards them, and then the overall energy that is supporting this connection, supporting what I feel like is either soulmate or twin flame love. Other than that, I'm not going to really put a title on it because it's love, 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 love. Um, I am going to use 3 different decks. I'm going to use Mother Mary for her beautiful words of wisdom. And I think I'm going to wait and do that at the end of the reading. I'm going to use the Gilded Tarot um, to go above this reading. And I'm going to use the Light Seers for the actual questions. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. Please don't think I'm ignoring you in the comment section. I'm going to come back to the comment section at the end of the reading. And, if I have time, I will answer some questions if you want, or whatever. We'll just play it by ear. So I want to give these a couple good shuffles. Everything's pre-shuffled, but I do want to give them a couple good shuffles because we are going to take from the top of the deck. So let me really shuffle them up. It literally feels like it's been forever since I've been live. And it's nice and cold today, so this is the perfect day. Okay, let's give them a cut. And again, we're going to take from the top of the deck. So I'm going to put them right here. And let me go ahead and just get the tarot, or the Gilded Tarot ready. Give them a couple good shuffles. And by the way, for anyone who's new, this is what I call an intuitive reading. That means that, like I read through my spirit guides. I open myself up to my guides who I feel like connect to your guides. I don't feel like it. I know it. So you can definitely feel comfortable asking for like signs of confirmation during the reading, like have Sandy say a certain word or what have you, but then just kind of let it go after that. Just let it go and let it be. Okay, let me just calm my energy. So, we're going to start. So, first question is, what are their current feelings for you right now? We have the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands. Well, this means to me that they're probably reflecting on you, maybe reflecting on like if you've been in a relationship with them, which I have a feeling a lot of you have already. And by the way, I'm not looking for energy of like a narcissist type, love. I feel like that we just kind of got to let that go. This again would be more of a high vibrational love. So I kind of love the 9 of Wands because This is someone who is reflecting back, but not with judgment. They're really, I feel like this means that someone themselves has grown, that their vibration has lifted. I often call the person the Nine of Wands my spirit warrior, because they were bold enough to like really understand a situation. Some of you, I feel like, you may be like all of a sudden thinking of someone. Well, that's the title of this person on your mind. But I feel like you may be thinking of them and they may be thinking of you. Again, nine is about reflection, but it's also about final reflection. So we'll take that. Okay, so what's their current view of you right now? King of Cups. Of course, this can be Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio, but for those who know me, know that I don't really like to give signs because to me, it's really the energy of this king. First of all, look at his eyes closed. It's like it makes sense with the Nine of Wands next to it. Like it's like this person is reflecting. This is the king I'd want to see as it relates to love, because this is someone, and listen, they may have had to like lift their own vibrations. Some of you may have demanded that, like, don't come to me with your low vibrational energy. If you want to be with me, then, you know, lift up your own vibration, like be ready to be in love. And that's what the King of Cups to me is, someone who, you know, enjoys having that special person. I often think of this king like if I'm out and about during my day and something happens, who am I going to call? I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you. This is someone who also appreciates being in a relationship. Now, again, maybe not in the beginning. Maybe they didn't know how to handle love. You know what I mean? Maybe they weren't ready to make a commitment, that type of thing. Maybe you weren't ready to make a commitment. But I like seeing the King of Cups here. All right, so what actions are they currently thinking of taking? Because they are thinking, they are reflecting. Look at this. Hello, Two of Wands. I feel like I'm getting ready to step into this. This person's like looking out at the world, and the Two of Wands, it's action oriented. It's something they feel passionate about. It's almost like where is she? Where is he? It's interesting too because if you look, like there's a globe, there's a map, they have their wand, and it's like they're ready to take action. But I feel like, let's step into it. Some of you may be getting contact soon. And again, we're going to take cards above to give us even more clarity. But I also love this because right now it's mirroring that Nine of Wands reflection. Should I take action? I definitely feel like someone must miss you. Um, but maybe they had to like really look at themselves like, can I be the type of partner that you you deserve? Definitely feel like someone has raised their vibration. And again, I'm not looking for like any type of narcissistic type of energy. Anyone who I feel like would say to you, or where you would have to like lower your vibration to be in their life. No, I feel the opposite. It's almost like this king is saying, I realize that if I don't do better, if I don't, if I don't become better, if I'm not ready to make a commitment, then I know better than to even like contact you. But that Two of Wands tells me that I feel like they're ready to step into it. Now, let's see what your current feelings are, because really that's what matters. Well, hello, Three of Wands following the Two of Wands. First of all, a lot of fire on the table. Fire, action oriented. Three of Wands is optimism. So, it's an optimistic view. But really, the Three of Wands is learning how to live within the current moment. I'm not projecting myself too far out in the future. And again, coming right next to that, too, let's just step into it and let's just see where it goes. Let's just see where it goes. This is a very optimistic view. So I feel like you're feeling that, especially if this person comes in and if you've been with them and they say, I understand now. I understand that I did need to lift my vibration. Now they probably won't say those words, but I know I needed to become a better man or a better woman. And I've reflected upon the things that have gone wrong, my part in it. And now I feel like they're coming in and saying, let's just take a chance. And you may just be saying that okay, I'm willing to step into it. But maybe in the Three of Wands, I'm not going to say okay, we need to make a full commitment. Maybe I just want to give this person time. And when I say that, I mean for the time is for you to make sure that this person is truly ready and that you're ready. You know what I mean? Like if you're not ready, then, or, well, first of all, I don't think you'd be here. Um, but anyways, let's keep going. What is the overall energy that is really supporting these connections? Look at this, the Tower. I feel like the Tower is the ability to overcome. Definitely makes sense because again, person on your mind, feel like some of you have definitely been with this person before. Um, Probably had a Tower moment. Often feel in the Tower that someone has fallen from grace, but that doesn't mean that they can't, again, evolve. Part of, if this is talking soulmate energy, this could be like part of what the soul, our soul's intention was. Like, can we overcome these towers? Now, I kind of feel like it wouldn't be more than one tower because then I feel like it'd be a repeat pattern. And I don't know. I'm just not the type of reader where I'd say, if you've had this tower over and over and over again, then I don't know. Like one tower, okay, yes, I'll consider it. And I feel like that's exactly what you're doing. You are going to consider it. But I feel like your souls, like let's say, um, is a soulmate energy. You could have certainly planted like seeds of intention before you guys came into this lifetime. And this tower may have been part of it. I have to use Sam and I as an example because we were together when we were teenagers. We did have that tower moment and then went on and lived our lives separately. But then, I don't even know, 40 some years later, he reached out. And so it begun. And now we're in union. So, when people say, like, oh, you shouldn't look back, Sandy, you shouldn't look, well, that is my life story. So I have to. And I understand that, you know, towers can happen. We're spiritual beings having human experiences. I don't feel like this tower holds the weight that it once did. All right, let's look at the bottom of the deck. Well, hello, 10 of Pentacles. You know what I feel? Well, this is the house of abundance. But you know what I always feel with the 10 of Pentacles is this is also the house of loyalty. Like, I feel like loyalty is a big, big word in this reading, right? Because I don't want anybody who's going to come in and cheat on me. I want someone that I can count on. I feel like everyone in this energy is grounded. Doesn't mean we're perfect because we're born imperfect, right? But, for some of you, this can be the blending of families. Like you may have kids, they may have kids, but it's harmonious at the same time. I also feel like this is someone, probably both of you, where I feel like each can take care of themselves. And that may be a little bit what the tower is about. Like, because I think about this also, like if Sam and I would have stayed together, would I have ended up being who I am right now? And I'm proud of who I am right now. You know what I mean? So I went on and did my things, right? Created, my abundance. He created his abundance, and then we came together. So I feel like, in other words, what I'm saying is, I don't feel like anybody's a bum here. I don't feel like anybody needs to depend on the other, like financially. I feel like creativity in that home is abundant, and it is a 10. So, you know, that tower, again, I feel like it really holds no power unless I give it that power. Someone fell from grace, but someone also reflected upon that. That's what's mirroring that tower right now is the 9 of Wands. So really deep reflection. And then coming out the other end. If you just look at the card, like this person is busting out of their clothes. Well, to me, that's their spiritual muscles. It's how much my spirituality has grown. Um, and listen, we just have to realize sometimes things don't work out the first time. Maybe that wasn't divine timing, and maybe now is divine timing. Okay, let's go right above it. And we may go below it too. We'll see. But again, so their current feelings for you, the 9 of Wands. We're going to take hmm, um, the Gilded Tarot. We have the 8 of Pentacles. 8 of Pentacles. Well, 8 of Pentacles. To me, it answers a question. Can this be successful? And the 8 of Pentacles tells you if you're willing, or if both are willing to put their focus upon it, then it's only going to grow and grow. It's also a number 8. To me, infinity, as above, so below. No beginning, no end. And I feel like that means that some of you could have been connected in past lives. I also feel like this is saying, don't disregard like how much you have grown during that period of separation. Like each doing their own thing as it relates to their finances. But I feel like this is answering a question like, can we be successful? Well, if we put our focus on it, the answer feels like yes. And 8 is about a new beginning. Right over that 9, the reflection, and then the 8, a new beginning. All right, let's keep going. So their current view of you right now, well, hello, 10 of Pentacles. Hello, 10 of Pentacles. So now we have 2 10 of Pentacles. Energy that's mirroring each other. Coming over this king. And the king doesn't have to be a male. Because remember, we're both masculine and feminine energy. But this king has been reflecting. This king is definitely thinking about, well, you. And I have a feeling you're thinking about them. I have a feeling this king is also, and again, king or queen, when they approach, I feel like they're proud of what they've created. And I also feel that some of you may be doing like similar things in the world and can even like combine that. And listen, 2 10 of Pentacles, I like that a lot. Okay. What actions are they currently thinking of taking? So we have the Two of Wands. Hello, Knight of Wands. So much fire in this table. But you know what? There's a lot of earth also, grounded. Knight of Pentacles or Knight of Wands. Coming over that Two of Wands. Many of you know that when I see a knight, I know a knight's going to complete their mission. Like, I feel like the knight is sent by the king or the queen. This is something this is energy that's coming towards you. This is passionate. It can be fast moving, but if you need to slow it down, slow it down. If you like, well, we'll see. But right now, you're really in an optimistic view. But we'll see what comes after that. But here I come. Here I come. Right over that too. I'm liking what I see so far. All right, so your current view towards them. Four of Swords. Healing. I feel like this king has been in a state of reflection, but I also feel like in the Four of Pentacles, it's the healing of this previous tower, but I feel like this one sword that we lie upon, that's ourselves, right? That's, how do I want to say this? It is healing that broken heart. It's healing in like the past hurt, but also knowing oneself, like I don't know, like I feel like I don't want to put all the blame on the king. Now, I don't know, but something is telling me that like I'm also learning about myself, right? I'm also healing myself. And maybe that is an important component of this, like we can't allow, like, let's say, well, the way it looks, this king is coming in again, king or queen. They feel very grounded. Like I feel like they got their shit together. I feel like their vibration has lifted. It definitely feels like they're coming in fast and furious, but full of passion. And again, action oriented. So that's what I feel about the king down here, like someone who wants to be in a relationship. Well, the knight would be someone who puts action behind those words. So, the Four of Swords, not allowing the tower to determine whether I'm going to say yes or no. Of course, that is your choice. But again, you're in an optimistic view. And I do feel like if this is something I really want, but of course, I want you to be realistic. I do want you to be realistic, but if this is something I want, then it does seem like an important component to let that tower be. All right, so the overall energy connecting the two of you. Page of Wands, more fire. Page of Wands to me is the Fool. This is someone who takes a chance. They don't always work out, but it is someone who gets back up again. It can talk about younger energy. Now we have the Page and we have the Knight. So that feels like evolution right there. But this really, to me, is like my Fool, my risk taker. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take a chance. And he's looking right back. Right back. It's almost like he traveled backwards, like I traveled through that Four of Swords. And that going through that energy opens me up to more of the possibility here. Interesting. Let's just go right below and let's just get even a little bit more clarity. So let me just kind of slide these out, move these down. All right, we have the Five of Swords. Well, that makes sense. So I feel like at one time, someone had toxic energy. It is a five. So fives speak about change. But, coming under a nine, someone's had that realization, right? Maybe I did carry toxic energy. You know, um, I feel like someone was like, I don't know, I kind of feel like immature, you know, um, probably didn't treat you right. But yet, I don't want to say, again, I don't want to say like narcissistic type energy because I don't feel that. I just don't feel like I feel the opposite of that. So this person's has had the realization that their energy was toxic. Now, probably not just to you, but just probably in their whole lives. You know, it's almost like they weren't even working. Like I wasn't even thinking about my finances. I was just thinking about, the fun I could have in my life at that time. But now I feel like they've changed that. Okay. We have the Ten of Wands. Interesting how the Ten of Wands is mirroring the Ten of Pentacles. It's almost like saying, I don't know why I keep saying almost, but if you look at the Five of Swords, again, let me flip it around. I keep forgetting when I'm live, my camera on my side looks backwards. So you have a five that goes into a 10. And I feel like this is saying that this king, and I'm going to keep saying king, but I just want to remind you, it can be female or male. Let's just say this person probably put the weight of the relationship on your shoulders. It probably became too much. You may have given them the tower. Like it's too much. I don't want this. This is not how I picture love in my life or in my mind, in my heart. Some of you were in a period of time where, maybe you were working. I'm not saying they weren't working, but I kind of feel like they weren't thinking like about the future. They were thinking more about the present day moment, but in a way where like, um, it kind of like a lower vibrational energy. Like, what fun can I have? What can I do today? What trouble can I go and get into? You know, I'm going to go to the bar and I'm going to go drinking, and then doesn't show up for work. That type of thing, like just where real change was needed. I have a feeling they had to change it for themselves first, but it definitely feels like you took on most of the responsibility till you just couldn't take it on anymore. Now, this 5 does go into a 10. Okay. All right. So, their current actions, 6 of Pentacles. Do you know, it's like they have had the realization that they were the taker and you were the giver. It's like they took advantage, but yet part of me feels like I don't want to beat them up too bad, because I feel like they were like somewhat immature, but definitely like you were the giver and they were the taker. 6 of Pentacles really talks about learning that fine art of give and take, and both had to realize that, like, wait a minute, am I the only one giving? And if that's the case, is that what I want? I don't think so. But it may have taken time to realize that. This also talks about, I feel like probably both of you at this point, like compassionate souls, empathetic souls. And for some of you, you may be very compassionate, and this could be something that, like, I stayed too long. I didn't put my foot down quick enough. and I ended up in heartache because of it. But I almost feel like I don't know that there was much you could do to change that energy. I feel like it was up to them to evolve. Some of you, this could have been a very, like, there could have, this could be many years in between. Six of Pentacles, learning that fine art of give and take. Wow, they're reflecting, they're understanding that now. They know that you put the weight of the relationship on your shoulders. Like if you gave them the tower, they get it now, right? They get it. And this healing, yes, it's for you, but it's really for both. You know, the ability to overcome. I feel like also that they must be much more compassionate than they once were. You know, and I do feel like this is now talking about energy where I know that, first of all, that Eight of Pentacles kind of is telling me the same thing, where I know if I want to be with you, then I have to be able to give you love, not just take it. I need to be able to give you that same love back. I do feel like they love you. To me, there's like no doubt. But I feel like, again, that lower vibrational energy, almost like hanging out with my friends, you know, was more important. Or so I thought. Or so I thought. Okay, let's look at you, though. Look at this, the Nine of Wands. You're thinking about each other. You are thinking about each other. How interesting. And listen, that may be a clue. You know, like if you just all of a sudden start thinking about someone and you're like, why am I thinking about that? I haven't thought about them in years. Well, because they're thinking about you. And I do feel like you're soul connected. You know, that to me means that even if we're not together, you know, that connection is really, truly never broken. Whether we get together again in this lifetime or not, we've been together in past lifetimes. We'll be together, you know, in eternity. But look at the mirroring energy. I'm thinking about them. They're thinking about me. We're each thinking about our own responsibility within the previous time we were together. And last but not least, let's look under that tower. Oh my God. Hello, Ten of Cups. Well, the house of love, the house of harmony, joy, laughter. I feel like all of that is important. You know, I feel like in this house, if there's an argument, it's not something we hang on to. We let it go. We understand it. We ask each other for forgiveness and we move on. We don't allow ourselves to get stuck in it. You have two Ten of Pentacles, two Nine of Wands, and now the Ten of Cups under that tower with the page mirroring it, taking a chance. You know, it's interesting because in the Three of Wands, I'm saying don't project yourself out too far into the future, right? Because something else you want to think about is it is my current intentions that are really that's what's really going to produce, you know, my future harvest. Ten of Cups. Wow. Let's see who's on the bottom of this deck. Hello, Judgment, your spiritual team. So when you see Judgment, it's calling you to the present moment. It's telling you there's an opportunity for a rebirth. Like your spiritual team is behind this. I have a feeling some of you, like this is a soul's, this was your soul's intention. And I know not everybody gets that. Like, what do you mean? Like as souls, we agreed to break up. and go through this pain. Yes, that's exactly what I mean. But also the reconnection time. Just feels like this is the time. Judgment, perfect energy to come out right now. And that's exactly what's happening here. They're in a two, the Two of Wands. You're in a Three of Wands. Well, that seems like divine timing. Two, Ten of Pentacles. I feel like I don't have to worry that I have to take care of them. They don't have to take care of me. I don't have to worry that, first of all, I feel like if I'm worried that like I reconnect with this person and my worry is, will they cheat on me? Then I feel like, okay, well, that's fair, right? That is fair. So the Three of Wands would say, well, then give someone the chance to really reveal who they are to you and, give them the time. I feel like if this is someone that like really is living within your heart, and I kind of feel that, I don't kind of feel that, I do feel that, then I do feel that this is talking about, again, like each during this breakup period, doing something, that was meant for their own soul. Like I was meant to create, let's say, a business for myself. And this person was meant to do something, whatever they're doing at this point. Again, I feel it here. It's almost like someone who probably called off work a lot, but now I feel like they're very grounded. And I also feel like this is saying loyal. But if you're skeptical of that, then just give them the time, right? Like, and I don't mean like, because I feel like we have to be careful. Like, if this is something we really want, then I don't want to be too judgmental, because judgment is not about judging. God is our judge. This is just about like allowing ourselves to live in the present moment and understanding that we're really creating, well, our Ten of Cups, our Ten of Pentacles from our present moment energy. I feel like a lot of you get that. You understand that. Wow. Wow. I mean, wow. All right, let's take Mother Mary over this reading. I also feel like because you have the Nine of Wands, they have the Nine of Wands, both reflecting on their part of what caused a tower, and really coming out with a lot of clarity. That's what puts you in the Three of Wands. That's what allows that optimistic view. And that Nine of Wands is what is really what's producing that healing. Again, this can talk about like immature energy, like energy that just is more about, themselves at that time. You both could have been in like relationships since then, could have even been married. But I feel like really nothing compares to them. Boy, that reminds me of a song. What's that song? Nothing compares to you. Who is that? She just passed away. All right, I'm going to take Mother Mary. I'm not ignoring you in the comments, by the way. I just want to concentrate on the reading. Mother. Why can't I pick it up? Mother. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Mother. I open my heart to my mother's humanness and her divinity. Mother. Some of you, this is certainly, I feel like this could certainly be a mother or a mother figure who is helping to guide this. Okay. We have Grace. I am filled with the same beauty, poise, and divine perfection as all of God's other creatures. Maybe I had to realize that about myself. Maybe I had a lot of self-doubt about myself. And I had to learn that I'm just as worthy as anyone else. Gratitude. That's kind of like the Three of Wands energy. Gratitude. As I notice and appreciate my blessings, I open the door to more of God's gifts. And then be strong. Be strong. I pull myself up and I do what needs to be done. Mother, grace, gratitude, and be strong. What a reading.